Alien Treason.
Chapter 3. Crossing Lines. The giants grew with alarming speed. Within 15 Earth seasons, scarcely 4 Agal months, the fragile infants stretched into colossal beings, their broad shoulders brushing against Eden's delicate sensor lattice. But on the ground, Zuva felt less pride and more like a caretaker, attempting to cage thunder itself inside a glass greenhouse. Their glacier-forged metabolisms suffered in Eden's humid heat, leaving them constantly restless, their frustrations often exploding into unpredictable brawls, guttural roars echoing like falling boulders. Despite their prodigious strength, these frostborn giants moved clumsily in Eden's gentle landscape. A casual swipe intended for a fluttering moth sent a utility cart tumbling. Playful curiosity with coolant conduits triggered ear-splitting pressure alarms, yet the orchard remained strangely impervious to their chaotic power. Each titan's blows harmlessly glanced off drone-woven force fields, branches bending gently but never breaking. High-tech wardens merely pulsed a soft warning strobe, indifferent to the giant's Stone Age tantrums. From the safety of Arcseed One's gallery, Rafa and the research crew amused themselves watching accelerated video feeds, dubbing the footage the Furnace Show. They laughed openly at the giant's frustrated attempts to scale the shimmering barriers, making bets on Zuva's next desperate innovation. Zuva, however, struggled earnestly. He tried everything: cooled alcoves, mineral-infused tonics, rhythmic chants, but each temporary relief collapsed into renewed chaos as the population swelled. By the end of their second Earth year, barely 8 Agal months, he finally accepted what the data had long been shouting. Eden was an oven for creatures forged from ice. At dawn, he quietly disabled the northern containment barrier, opening a pathway toward the cool, cloud-shrouded highlands. Patiently, carefully, he guided his brood of giants into caves where nights chilled sharply and meltwater fogged the air like a comforting embrace. Behind them, the orchard's gates closed with an ionic whisper, drones fading to standby. Watching from the viewport, Rafi mockingly raised an ironic toast toward Zuva's empty clearing. But Zuva, eyes fixed on the silhouettes fading into distant forests, noted the hour solemnly. He hoped that somewhere between Aga's measured ticks and Earth's reckless haste, frost and freedom might teach these first children what Eden never could. Zuva hunched wearily over a waterfall of helix maps, scrolling through endless genetic misfires. Neanderthal genes fluctuated wildly between Agal furnace codes and primate tundra loops, as unpredictable as solar storms. Rafa's reflection appeared silently behind him in the glass. "Ready to concede?" Rafa's tone carried weary impatience. "We can arrange extraction. Just go home." Zuva, without looking up, Zuva's fingers danced across the screen. "Who says I've run out of ideas?" He paused, tapping a segment glowing crimson. "Their limbic system stormed like tempests, so I'll calm them, add more fire to their ice." Rafa sighed. "You're juggling embers above kerosene, Zuva." He left quietly, hoping perhaps that failure might cure Zuva's stubborn obsession. Weeks blurred into 8 intense Earth months. Zuva meticulously recoded genes, nudging chaotic strands until finally he found a balance, just enough Agal DNA to anchor the genetic swings without extinguishing Earth's rugged adaptability. Gradually, error indicators blinked green, like Audumbla's endless licking of the primordial ice to Freebury. Zuva tirelessly licked through layer after layer of genetic code until the new progenitor emerged. When new embryos stirred inside biopods, their skin emerged pearly rather than slate blue, their heartbeat steady, calm. At their first cries for warmth and milk, even Eden's drones hesitated, uncertain how to respond. Zuva harvested goat milk beyond Eden's borders, programmed gentle feeder arms, and never left their sides, attending tirelessly through every artificial night. Curiosity soon overcame ridicule. Scientists who had laughed at the Furnace Show drifted hesitantly down to Eden's nursery, captivated by children trying to mimic drone chirrups and careful repair gestures. Even Rafa, resistant longest, eventually entered, surprised as the child solemnly traced patterns across his glove. He didn't say it, but something inside him recognized a feeling that cloning had never fully granted: true parenthood. It began innocently enough. During routine drone maintenance, a glowing repair glyph flashed briefly, a graceful sweep of lines punctuated by a single dot. A nearby child noticed and immediately traced the symbol carefully into the soft soil, echoing the drone's servo chirp. Another child copied her, a playful game quickly spreading. By sunset, Eden's clearing filled with careful dirt-scrawled glyphs, caution markers, flow arrows, numeric pips glimpsed briefly on passing status lights. An Agal scientist spotted the intricate scrawls, stunned that each matched maintenance symbols precisely, down to exact stroke order. Intrigued, she knelt, drew a new glyph for water, softly pronouncing its Agal sound. Immediately, the children repeated both the symbol and pronunciation flawlessly. Word spread swiftly, drawing more scientists into impromptu language lessons. Fire, shelter, star, each taught patiently with corresponding symbols. Knowledge clung to the children effortlessly, like dew to morning quartz. By 10 Earth years, mere seasons on Aga, the first generation mastered weaving snares, locating groundwater, and spoke near flawless Agal, their voices ringing confidently through Eden's twilight. Zuva reopened Eden's eastern gate, gently herding goats, birds, and shy deer back into the orchard. The children welcomed these newcomers with remarkable empathy, soothing nervous animals with quiet clicks and drone-like hums. That very night, the silent orchard's trunks gleamed softly with a new metallic sheen. Drone sensors registered a sharp spike in yield enzyme Delta 73, precursor to abundant fruiting, a miracle not seen in half a millennium. Rafa, voice shaking, showed Zuva the astonishing data. The trees, they're shimmering. Zuva simply smiled, eyes shining gently. They finally noticed the children. Across Eden's compound, Voru stared bitterly through the viewport, jaw clenched. Clipboards chasing nursery rhymes, he muttered darkly, watching fellow Agals teaching eager children to knot fibers and chart stars. Each passing week, Eden's orchard brightened visibly, yet Voru's reports grew colder, sharper. Rafa always replied the same way. Wait for the yield. But Voru's fears held a kernel of truth. The Agals themselves had begun to change subtly. Their posture relaxed, their voices softened to match the gentle cadence of their human pupils. For the first time since leaving Aga, some even laughed openly, freely, without protocol guiding each breath. In their mirrored pupils, the cold alloyed joints of Agal culture warmed, however fractionally. Whether that newfound warmth would temper the Agals or melt them entirely remained a chapter yet unwritten. Over time, the human population grew steadily, guided and nurtured by the wisdom of the Agal scientists. These humans were taught agriculture, the craft of tools, the intricacies of biology, and all necessary skills for survival. As generations passed, humans expanded beyond their initial settlements, forming thriving communities around the sacred garden. Though they freely moved in and out of the garden, there was one paramount rule they had to uphold: never eat the fruit from the tree of the silent orchard, the tree of life. After 1,000 patient years, the tree finally bore fruit. Its yield surpassed even the scientists' highest expectations. Yet the fruit itself sparked concern. It was still strangely green, unlike the vibrant fruit from its Aga counterpart. Voru, one of the Agal scientists, voiced his frustration openly. He argued bitterly that they had reached a familiar dead end, accusing Zufa of once again feeding them false hope. Rafa, still leading the scientists, calmed his team, urging patience. The environment of the garden had changed dramatically, and they had to relearn the behavior of this enigmatic tree. Despite this agreement, Zufa grew impatient. Voru's relentless pessimism had become intolerable, but truthfully, Zufa's impatience was driven more by an insatiable curiosity. The thrill of observing from his feline form had faded, leaving him yearning for something more intimate, more human. Secretly, he crafted a human body capable of hosting his consciousness. Hidden from everyone, Zufa had long since modified his sleeping pod into a consciousness transfer device, allowing him seamless transitions into this human form. While his Agal counterparts remained oblivious, Zufa explored human society in his new disguise. He marveled at their customs and evolving cultures, but was dismayed by their persistent aggression. He had hoped humanity would have evolved past such primitive instincts.